Hello there. Today's video we have redone the entryway. So I've been talking about redecorating for a while and I did it and I love how everything turned out. I also shopped a lot of my stuff, made some things, kind of all just threw it all together in a beautiful mess. So let's jump into the entryway. This is what we're working with, and this is real life because this is what happens when you just dump everything in the front door and you don't touch it for a while. So here is my beautiful mess. This is, by the way, just prepare you guys. You're going to see the pretty end product, but you're also going to see a lot of just everyday life. This is a mixture. Now I cleaned this table off a little bit. Excuse me, I have a wiener dog walking across me. I cleaned the table off a little bit, but this is a culmination of a couple years worth of different DIYs. There's a big old basket of doggy toys. There's, all kinds of stuff. There's my supervisors who don't supervise at all. They just kind of, try to eat each other's necks. They love to bite each other's necks. Why do puppies do that? I don't know. Maybe it's just boy dogs. I don't know. I've never had boy dogs before. You guys let me know. Now, that part I wanted to redo. I planned on doing this entire entryway, but I will tell you what happened. I didn't get paint in time for that vase, so that little corner is not done, but you will see it in the next video. So, this is what we're working with. You will see my ring light. You're going to see tripods. You're going to see all kinds of stuff, but this is what we're working with. So, I'm going to start by taking out the big ugly stuff. Get rid of the boxes, clear off a lot of this other stuff. Now, some of this beautiful clutter, I love calling it clutter, is been dusty. It's been years. Everybody's got, I made that little pumpkin thing a few years ago and I absolutely love it, and you will see it again. But a lot of these are DIYs that you've seen in other videos. If you've been with me for a long time, you've seen them in many, many past videos. And then there's also lots of dust there. And then, of course, here's Henry. There's going to be lots of, puppy shots and all kinds of stuff because these guys were definitely under my feet the whole time. But after I got it all cleared out, this is definitely still dusty. I had to do lots of vacuuming, lots of, cleaning, lots of stuff. So basically I made this worse on myself by not dusting for a while. I also live in the desert, so I mean, we all have dust and dirt, but man, does it show up a lot out here. Now, I did get a lot of good stuff from Hobby Lobby. Now, this was $46.99. I got it for 40% off. Everything you see me use here, if I say I've got it from Hobby Lobby, I bought it about a week or two ago. Look at the date of this video if you're watching, and you'll see all of this stuff 40% off. So if the prices you're seeing, all 40% off. And some of these are such great deals, they end up being better than Dollar Tree. Now, do you do this? When I go shopping, I got all these pumpkins. These are going in my mantle, so you'll see that in the next video. I end up, when I go to the registers and stuff, I'll have them put things in boxes and in things so that they can just, consolidate it easier and I'll have as many bags. But I had to make sure I remember to take these guys out. Now look, $1.99, this is what I want to say. At 40% off, ends up being $1.19. And with the prices going up, and even if the regular prices, the fall stuff and the seasonal stuff at Dollar Tree, at least my Dollar Tree was $1.50. Some was $1.75. So, I mean, if you can get Hobby Lobby stuff for cheaper than Dollar Tree, why not, right? Now, I got this little box because I wanted the buffalo check portion of it. And look how cute this pumpkin basket is. Now, this one was on a little bit higher of a price for me, but I wanted that size. And $38.99 after 40% off, I was willing to invest in because, again, if you know me, I'm going to leave the pumpkins out year round. That basket will serve me year round. I'll put spring things in it. I'll put summer things in it. I'll put holiday things in it. That doesn't bother me. I love that basket. Now, these are from my own stash. I have had these yellow springy hydrangea in my stash for years. I was making some door hangers out of them when I first started my channel. So now I'm going to use them for my home. So I'm going to cut them down. Now, also, you are going to see me leave a lot of tags on. If that bothers you, please look away, because if you can see the tag, I'll take it off. If you can't see the tag, then I am too lazy or can't be bothered to cut every single tiny little tag off. It irritates me for some reason. Every little tiny tag. So in any event, I cut all the stems off. I stuck them in the basket, but I didn't like how they were kind of just all over the place. You could see through that basket a little bit. So I stuck a little glass jar in there, and it kind of helps, at least on the on the detail side. A lot of people, when you're coming into an entryway, nobody is going to look inside the weave of this basket and see the stems were kind of all crazy. They're going to see the glass jar. It'll be fine if they're looking. You're your own, critical eye, your own worst critic. So I was like, okay, I can see through that basket. That's absolutely horrible. Oh my goodness, how will I ever show my face again? Anyways, that worked out better for me. We're not done with that, but A lot of this happened in spurts. Now for my bigger vase here from Hobby Lobby, this is a Hobby Lobby bush. I ended up going back and getting 2 more. I bought 2 originally, and then I ended up buying 2 more because I need them for my mantle too. I used both of the stems, or both of these bushes, in this vase, and I just went and got a chunk of styrofoam to weight it down and you know, make sure that it has its you know, a good base to it. Now this little fluffy, floofy, feathery thing here, I don't know what it's called. It's not pompous. I don't know what that is. It's just a big fluffy, floofy, feathery thing. Now, the regular ones at Hobby Lobby, I wanted $15 for it. I think this was $8, and then I got it 30% off. I don't leave it in the vase. You'll see, if I mean, you've seen the thumbnails and the pictures. I don't leave it in the vase. I end up putting it in the other vase that I wasn't able to do because I didn't get my paint in time. Now, I did end up cutting up the other bush here and kind of see, there, I'm putting them in stem by stem. Now, I liked it, but there was something about the color. I guess that taupe color was just a little bit too far off. I wanted height. Definitely wanted height in this, but I decided to take out that fluffy little feathery thing. And then I added 2 of these. You're only seeing me put 1 in now. 2 of these little white berry thingies. Now, it does shed a little bit, but not bad. Most of the stuff you see shedding, again, once you're done decorating, go ahead and use the blow dryer. What my misfires are going on upstairs. Use a vacuum of some sort or just brush it off. But, you know, after it just sits there, it doesn't just fall off. But I did end up using 2 of those in there because the pops of white were what I was looking for. For this particular season, I also, here, if you see now, I went to my stash and I got these yellow leaves because I felt it needed just one more thing. It wanted some other type of contrast that what I originally thought didn't work out. So I had to kind of go off the cuff. So now, I also didn't like how a little bit too bright and springy this was over here, so I had to add these in. And this is where I'm saying anything $1.99, you end up getting for $1.19 at 40% off. Now, when all this stuff goes to 50, 60, 70% off, if they still have them, jump on it because those prices are even cheaper and even better than you could ask for. And again, and it's Hobby Lobby quality goodies. So there. And there's Cosmo. It's my other see my little supervisors. Human Resources is checking in on me, making sure I'm still working, demanding doggy treats. But look how cute it is. I put this, I believe that's this one's here. These are called hops. And then I don't know what these little berry things are called, or these little pods, but I love them. They're new this year to me, and I went and I went back because I need them for my mantle too. I went back and bought like 20 more stems. They're just really cute and a great color. This little stand I've had for years. I bought that at Hobby Lobby years and years ago. It's always good to get little, you know, risers and height thingies. You could probably make them, but I don't possess the tools for that. This is an Ashland craft pumpkin that I got. It's not craft pumpkin, sorry. It's just an Ashland pumpkin that I got from Michael's years ago. I like the color, so I went and grabbed it out of my craft stash and threw that in there. So there, a lot of times, if you have a lot of the stuff, just go to either your craft room stash or your own home and shop, like they call it, shop your home or shop your stash. I added a lot of things from my own, you know, chaotic mess. And a lot of this. Now, these are placemats from my kitchen. I have a table that seats 8. So I have these buffalo check placemats, and then I have also these like little bamboo ones. I ended up going with the bamboo because I felt like the buffalo check was a little bit too rich. It was a little bit too dark. Now, I am going to add pops of gray and black in here because I love that, and it makes my farmhouse heart happy. Now, these 2 pumpkins are new, also from Hobby Lobby, 40% off. Those are my new little investments. Those girls will stay out year-round because they are neutral enough that I can make them work during spring, summer, fall, and winter. So those girls will be a staple in my home. And then here's where I got these little baskets. Now, I've seen these at, you know, the thrift stores and stuff like that, but I haven't been lucky enough to grab any recently. So what I did was I just bought some new baskets, again, 40% off, and then I got some more of those pots. The hydrangea you see me holding there, the white ones, those are from Amazon. And then here's some Hobby Lobby little hydrangea picks that they have out. Again, 40% off. So I'm going to do a little combination here. This is the easiest set you're ever going to see. Now, in a moment, I'm not done with this. This was just preliminary. I thought that I was done and I left them plain. I also didn't secure them in the baskets. I'm going to show you a little later on that I decided to change my mind on that, and then we add a little bit of extra flavor to these girls. I did cut down the stems and I did take off all of the tags on these because it was something that you would see a lot. And what I had planned on doing was I wanted to fill one of these little baskets with these little berry pods. But I ended up kind of mixing them in with the hydrangea, mixing them in with the other arrangements, and I didn't have enough. So I'm going to grab 4 of these darker brown taupish, what did you call it? Like a light tan color hydrangea, and I'm just going to stick those in here, and then I'm going to put 2 of my little goldish mustardy yellow ones on top, and that's it for that. That's all she wrote. I was going for very simple, quick, and fast, and you don't even have to take the tags off of these. That is very pretty. Now, you could do that and leave that there. Of course, I couldn't leave it alone because, you know, I am me. And now with the Amazon ones here, these are listed in my Amazon shop if you want. They come in many different colors. They are actually very full and fluffy and a very good price. I have them in 2 different colors, but they come in so many colors. You know, it's a good buy. So take a peek at it. I'm just going to use what I have left in my bag because, again, this is from my stash from my craft room, but is now going to be used in a decor for my home. I had 4 bundles. Or sorry, I had 4 stems. So I cut the stems short enough and I kind of just stuffed them in there. And I'm using the handles on these little baskets to kind of hold some of them in. And then you'll see me, every once in a while, you'll see me just experiment, just stuffing things here and there, left and right, seeing if I like the placement of things. Now that is her home, but we're not done with her, but I'll show you later what we end up doing. Now, this little thing here was in the kitchen section, but it was still in the fall area. I don't know what it is, but I bought it because I thought it was a cute little pumpkin arrangement. I grabbed one of my little Dollar Tree circular, you know, styrofoam discs, cut it to fit. And then here's a couple pieces left over from the bush that I cut up to put in our large vase there on the left. I'm going to take a couple of those. I'm going to take a couple of these little, I'm going to call them berry pods. I don't know what they are, but I love them. I'm going to take a couple of these. And then this is a bundle of some flowers I've had in my craft stash for years. I've used for many different fall projects. We're just going to add them together because, again, they're the right color. Creams and whites, golds, mustards, browns, and I'm going to stick a little bit of black and a little bit of gray in most of this stuff because that's just it's been my jam lately, man. I'm loving it. So here you see I'm just cutting off the stems and I am randomly popping them in here. There's no glue in any of this particular arrangement. That way I can change out the flowers, I can change out the style, but I can leave my cute little pumpkin container out. Most of this stuff I'm trying to keep a little neutral. Now I am going with golds and warm colors for fall for this year, but I will be changing them out and keeping these things here mostly for the rest of the year. I am a pumpkin person. I'm a pumpkin woman at heart. That's just what it is. I got a pumpkin tattoo. I love pumpkins. Pumpkins are a year-round vegetable. They don't just only grow in November. So this is my thing. I have no problem leaving pumpkins out. I love them. Depends on what your style and what your preference is. I just tucked what was left of those little flowers. I cut every little bud off of what was left of that bush there. And again, when I switch them out, I have totes, I have plastic containers that I put all my loose flowers in so I can come back and use them at different times. So eventually you're going to see me using some stuff that's already cut. And now for the leftovers here, I just stuck them in this little mason jar. Now, I didn't show you up close, but that mason jar has a pumpkin on it. And now this right here, you guys, is my favoriteest find. Now, this wasn't cheap per se. I spent about almost 40 bucks on these. But I got 5 dried, they're called dipper gourds, I guess. Now, remember, I'm from the West Coast. I live in the desert of Las Vegas. So, I don't have any experience with gourds. I have no experience with anything that normally grows in normal areas or anything, you know, like green, like grass and trees. Everything out here we have to buy. So, I bought those gourds because they are gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I wanted something a little bit different. I love the natural dried gourd. Those things are going to last forever. And these are the These are the little yellow leaves that I had gotten. This is an old, that was right there. I believe that's an old Michael's bundle of those yellow leaves I've had for years. Those are also the ones I stuck in the vase to the left at the beginning. But I just kind of arranged them around and then put the gourds and then a hydrangea or 2. I'm going to go back to what I cleared out earlier from my stash. My little pumpkin sign I made a few years ago. I'll put a link to that video in the description. It's a couple years old, but I love that pumpkin sign. It's made out of paint sticks. I put my little beads on there. Those beads I got at Hobby Lobby years ago. And then what I did was I pulled my little box forward, that buffalo check box. I pulled it forward, pushed the pumpkin basket back so that I could prop that pumpkin sign up there, and I absolutely love it. Now here's where I'm showing you. Wasn't happy, so, I mean, I'm happy, but I wasn't 100% satisfied. So I took my 2 baskets, and we are going to just add a little bit of flavor because I can't leave it alone. And also, the bases will be neutral and I will continue to use them. So I am going to add some gray paint to them. I love the mixture of browns and grays recently, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my DIY paint that I get from miltonsdaughter.com. I get all these goodies from Lori at miltonsdaughter.com. There's a link and a code in my description below and in the pinned comment. I'm going to use Prairie Gray. And this is a clay-based paint. It's the DIY paints are very pigmented. I only had to do one coat, and here I started out by going on the edge too, and I thought, no, that's going to take too much time. I want this to be quick and easy and fast. So on the back of the basket, I thought, all right, I did this edge, but maybe I can hide that in the back. And so periodically for the rest of this, I just went on the top portion only. But then when I was done, I didn't like it. You could see the edging, and the edging was like a little, it kind of like pulled my eye towards it. I didn't like it. So I did take the time to go through the edges. I didn't tape anything off. There are parts and portions where you can see that the paint got on other parts of it, and I like it. It doesn't bother me. I'm not looking for perfection. I'm not looking for crisp, beautiful lines. I'm looking for homey, lived-in, handmade home decor. That's what makes me happy. Or I should say that's what makes me happy. That's what makes my little crafty heart happy. But the contrasting color on this, I love this gray color. And you can see that the DIY paint is already drying on the bottom row as opposed to how dark it is. So it does dry a little bit lighter. So just remember, if it's going on too dark, it does dry lighter. But look how pretty these are. I love them. I love the accent color. And when we put these hydrangea in, especially the brown and the mustardy goldy colored ones, they look so gorgeous together. Now here's a little leftover piece of styrofoam. I used that in my last video when I made the little candle thing. So I'm just cutting up chunks of it here, and I'm just securing a little piece of styrofoam in the bottom. Now again, you saw me make the little bundles and the arrangements earlier. I just kind of popped them in the basket. They're not going to get any movement or use. So if you don't want to, you can skip this step entirely and just go back to the original way I did it and just pop the hydrangea back in there. I wanted them to be a little bit more permanent just in case I did bump them or knock them over, because that is my entryway. That little that dresser that you see there with the florals on it, I bought that at RC Willey. That is a dresser for a bedroom, but I have a decent sized entryway in my front entryway. It's an entryway, and so I put a dresser up there so that I had like a little catch-all. I had places to put, as you saw in my first picture, where deliveries and junk gets dumped at. You know, I also have a bar in my kitchen. That's the same thing. You put your keys, your purse, your phone. By the front door, it ends up being usually deliveries or anything else like that comes in. But look what they look like after after I just pop those stems back into the styrofoam. They have more of a permanent spot. Nothing's going to pop out or fall out. And I put this one with the little handle sticking through the white flowers there, so you could see that on the side. And then our larger one here, look how pretty it looks with these colors. I love it. Also, I want to apologize. Sometimes I don't have the proper equipment to do most of this moving around or live, I don't know what we call live action. Normally you see me in my craft room. So some of this, the lighting might not be the best. But now you saw me make this one in literally my very last video. And I decided that she needed to be right here by my front door. I love it. I did not plan it out, but the pops of black is what's making me happy. I made this little, stuffed tin can arrangement either last year or year before. I can't remember. I think it was last year. Again, I'll put the video of all these other handmade DIYs in my description below, so you can take a peek at those if you want. I decided to hang this pretty little girl here on my grandfather clock. This was my grandma's and my grandpa's grandfather clock, so I got that as a hand-me-down. Oh, they're my supervisors, saw them. And then look at my little glass pumpkin. I made this a few years back. I don't remember if it was last year or year before, and I knew these were all the right colors. Now, this is orange, but I've got the right colors and the pops of everything in there, and I just added a couple little touches in. And I wanted to put a crochet pumpkin. I've loved my pumpkins I made this year, so I went and got a gold mustardy yellow yarn. I believe I got this one at Hobby Lobby. I don't remember what the yarn was, but if you need to know, let me know. Ask me in the comments and I can find out what the label is. So I made a large pumpkin for myself, and then I'm gonna basically secure it. I'm gonna put in our little pumpkin veins, I guess you could call it, because right now it's just looks like a pillow. So right now we're going to make it look like a pumpkin. This right here is my favorite parts, when the pumpkin comes alive, when you're adding these little veins here. So I like to try to add so that there's 5 sections, so it doesn't look like a flower, but I mean, it could look like a flower or a 4-leaf clover, a very floofy one. So after I secure that down, I ended up getting some new sticks. Now, I don't need any stems. I have a lot, but these were on sale when I was at Hobby Lobby just a couple days ago before this. They had all their Christmas stuff 50% off. So look how cute the pumpkin is. It's like the perfect little shape. Look how perfect these sticks are. And again, these sticks, I got 50 sticks for $3. So basically I got 50 sticks for $1.50. Once again, the quality, the quantity, and the price better than Dollar Tree. So remember, if you have the time and the, patience, you can probably find better deals in some places with better quality of things than just going to Dollar Tree. Now, sometimes it's just convenient. You could just get them there. But look at how long and cute they are. Now, we're going to add a whole bunch of gobbledygook there so the stem won't be so long. But again, it's all personal preference. Do you like long stems? I like long, tall, twisted, weird stems. I'll specifically look for those, like in the fresh ones. I will be buying some. My grocery store did not have them out yet last time I went, but I will be buying those ornamental gourds and stuff every year that have the crazy stems on them. But I like really weird stems. I like it. It makes me happy. So in any event, when I saw these sticks, those sticks at Hobby Lobby for the, their Christmas sticks, it doesn't matter. I bought them because I knew I would use them, every single one of them, on a pumpkin. Now I'm going to start decorating. So I kind of gibbered through that, but that's what we're here for, right? Gibbers and jokes and crafts and things. And in this particular video, I have so many extras added in that it's kind of all over the place, but hopefully you like the chaotic crafting. Now I'm using, this one's an older Hobby Lobby purchase of this ribbon. I love this little pop of orange pumpkins here with the white on it. Looks really good. Both of my little bundles here for my ribbon, I use zip ties. Zip ties normally don't weather very well if you're putting them on a door. So, outside, especially where I'm at in the sun, zip ties aren't the best, but this is an indoor girl. She's going to live a city life and sit still, look pretty. And that's just what we're for. And I'm just going to take all kinds of other little extras. I have some pieces of, obviously that's Hobby Lobby Baby Breath, hops. I have the white berries, those berries at the top right of the screen you're seeing there, the little orange ones, that's an old Michael's pick from years and years and years ago. And I'm just chopping up all these little things here, and I am literally throwing glue in there and just adding them in where I see fit. It's almost like, I've mentioned it before in other videos, it's like making a 3D collage where I'm just able to just layer and add all kinds of beautiful accoutrement. This is where it makes me happy. This is like almost like you're making an arrangement, but you're putting it on top of a pumpkin. Or like the last video I made, we did a little decorative thing on the top of a candle. It's like making your floral arrangements in smaller spots, but then also in maybe not such common things you'd think of. Like the top of a pumpkin ends up becoming just a big pile of pretty, It's just, at least that's how I feel about it. I like the big pile of pretty. In fact, I would love someone to call me a big pile of pretty. That would be great. They'd be like, that's the next compliment. What is it? Oh, she's a big pile of pretty. I'm like, oh, stop. Blushing. Anyways, I digress. I made a little tendril out of my paper wrapped wire. Again, most of that was off of Amazon. That'll be linked in the description. You could take a peek at that in the description in the pinned comment below. And then I did go pretty heavy with the Hobby Lobby hops on this one. I think I called it barley in my last video, but it's not. It's called hops because I've tried to look for it out of the season. Now, when Hobby Lobby has their fall stuff out, I will buy this brown hops in as much as I can. And I have found some on Instagram. Jeez. I found some on words putting into sentence making. I found some hops on Amazon in green and some other colors. Now, I got a very small amount for kind of a higher price. So when Hobby Lobby has the brown stuff out, I will grab it. And I will buy many little picks of it. And they've had this hop stuff out for years. Probably maybe 5, 6, 7 years now. I've got a lot of it. Now, I love the way this looks in here. And I've got my little handmade crochet piece that speaks to my preference. And I made it, so I feel happy that it's there. There you can see the mason jar a little bit better. I did buy that just at the same time with all my Hobby Lobby goodies, 40% off. And I did later add some more pods to that little mason jar there, you'll see. But I also have to tap the pumpkin apparently 50 times in the exact same spot it was already in, because that's how you do it. Now, this little candle thing, this was a party light. If anyone's familiar with party light, that was a party light purchase from years ago. I had a party and I got enough people here. I was able to get this standing thing. I've had it for years. Now, if you see here, I'm taking the goodies out. These little this greenery pick was candle rings, and I just cut the candle rings up and kind of layered them in here with these black rattan I guess grapevine balls. I love them. We are going to reuse the grapevine balls. Remember, pops of black are still going to be going in because I wanted it, for me, it gives me that farmhouse feel. So I had just a little bit of Spanish moss left over in one of my bags, so I popped that in the bottom. I'm going to put the rattan, or not rattan, what are they? The grapevine balls back in. And then I'm going back to those yellow leaves from that little yellow leaf stem bushy thing that I had from Michael's. And I'm going to just kind of put these in here. Now, forgive me, I was holding my phone at this particular time, and I am not used to recording with my phone. This is a whole new thing for me, so give me some grace, as Olivia from Olivia's Romantic Home would say. Give yourself grace. I was a little bit bad with some of my not paying attention to where I was pointing my phone, but look how cute that ends up being. The glass has a little design on it, so it's not exactly 100%, apparent. And then again, like I said, the boys were supervising and then also trying to consume each other's necks. I don't know that boy dogs. It's taken me. I've had them for about 1.5 years now. I've taken me a minute to get used to the way they the way they play, because it looks like fighting, but it's not. But now we're going to paint some old pumpkins. I went into my stash. I'm going to use DIY paint in the color crinoline. By the way, this is a new paint color for me, and I love it. It is a beautiful, like buttery, creamy cream color. It has hints of yellow in it, but it's not crazy yellow to where it looks. It's gorgeous. It's a very gorgeous color. So if you're looking for DIY paints or if you're looking for a cream color, this is it. I only had to do 1 coat on all of these pumpkins. And what I was mentioning earlier before, these pumpkins are from my pumpkin stash. Every year I used to put out my Christmas tree super, super early, which I haven't put my Christmas tree out in a few years. I mean, those, life gets ahead of us sometimes, and, things happen. And I kind of lost my decorating mojo for a while, so I haven't put my tree out, except for, like, the last video you guys would have seen would have been when I think I didn't even make a video of it. I think I just put a couple pictures out that I basically put my Christmas tree up and made floral arrangements in it. I just filled it with red berries and stuff. But I haven't done a harvest tree. Now, this pumpkin here, these brighter orange ones, they're from Walmart. They're really, really old Walmart pumpkins, and I have decided that I despise the color of them because, again, they do look like fake plastic pumpkins. So I said, why not? I put 1 coat of that crinoline paint on it. I didn't have to do much. One of the stems here from the silver pumpkin, I did have to paint brown. The rest of them were fine. Even the gold pumpkin did not have a gold stem. It just had a normal stem on it. So for this one, I took the time and I just got out my acrylic paint and I painted the silver stem brown, and everything is all happy, happy, joyous goodness and smiles. And anyways, going forward, I painted the stem brown. Okay, to put it, how do you just say it? I used 50 words to say I painted the stem brown. So there, it's just a preliminary thing. Again, these are going on the floor in a basket, so your eyes aren't going to be that close to them. Now we're going to distress these with my favorite wax. It's DIY dark wax. I don't get the black one, I have the dark one. So this goes in between like a gray, black, and a brown, and it gives the perfect amount of like grunge and distress and age to things. So this particular time I'm using one of my really old chippy brushes. So now this will be a wax brush. So whatever brush you're using, remember you won't be using it for anything other than wax going forward, because I wanted to get in the creases of all the pumpkins. I loaded up the brush and then I tapped it off mostly on a paper towel. And at first I was going a little kind of all over the place. I wasn't really sure exactly how I wanted to apply it, but I did know I'm going to have to try to, blend it in. So I've got a paper towel to go over all of the creases to shade it or blend it in. And it does get a nice hazy, dusty look to it, the perfect amount of dirt. So like everything that we normally try to remove for our homes, I'm purposely putting into my decor. So like, is that dusty and dirty? No, it's called distressed. It's also called farmhouse, vintage, you name it. Whatever it is that I can find an excuse for it. But look at how perfect it is. So I took this old, I think this was the gold one, which is why I painted the stem. So the gold, the silver, and then those ugly plasticky, orangey Walmart ones, they all used to go underneath my harvest tree. When I would put a tree out every year for fall and Thanksgiving, I would decorate it in the bright oranges and stuff. There's an old time-lapse video if you want to take a peek at my playlist. There's an old time-lapse video of me putting my harvest tree up. And you'll even see my old girl Tootsie there. She was on the sofa with me the whole time I was decorating that tree. That was my soulmate. She was my baby. And anyway, I digress. She was with me a lot. I would put all these pumpkins underneath that Christmas tree. for that time. So I love the fact that I'm able to update something that has been sitting in my garage for years and years and years. And I have so many more, but I only did these 4 pumpkins, but I really do want to do the rest of them. And you'll see here once we're done, distressing all these, adding the wax, putting the stems back on. When I take them back out to the entryway and I put them in the back, in the little, one's going in a copper bucket, the others are going in a wire basket I bought. I did leave the lighter colored pumpkins. See here, these are the lighter colored pumpkins from Walmart. Now, if I had to guess, I've had these, geez, even before I'm in this current house. I've been in this current house for about 13 years. Now I'm waving at that because that is a extension cord I have plugged in behind the clock. Because at Christmas time, I will put Christmas tree lights in there, or Christmas lights in there, and then I have a little foot pedal on the other side that I can turn them on and off, which I could still do that for this particular thing now. It's just I didn't have much for it to hold on to. But I did want to add the pumpkins back in. So back to what I was saying is, these are the lighter colored pumpkins. I thought I would be okay to leave them that, but I would like to paint those eventually also. So there were dark orange, and then there were these light orange. I left the light orange ones alone for now, for this year, and I will probably repaint them maybe next year. Or I could even paint them gray or even something like that. Again, I know I won't be having time to do that. As you can see, Cosmo on the right here is also supervising. He's shown up, so yes, good job on me. I require doggy treats, thank you. I am cute. And here's Henry. I am also cute and handsome. Look at my little handsome boys. And then that's what the little copper bucket looks like. Again, at Christmas, I put like some greenery in there with some lights and pine cones, and it's beautiful. Now, our little basket over here, I have another Walmart pumpkin that's light, and then I have this gourd. I have no clue where I got it. I don't remember buying it, but it's also been in my stash for many years and up in the garage now. I kind of ran out of a little burlap. I thought this was longer than it really was, so I was like, well, where's the rest of the roll? Well, I put it in the other bucket, so I would like to add more to it. I do have many rolls of this in my craft room, but for time and the purpose of it, it's literally not going, it's not that big of a focal feature. It's down on the floor. It'll be okay, Whitney. You know, I was like, I need to add more burlap. I would love to put more burlap in there. I wasn't able to do it so much this year. Now, all I did was just tuck in that little piece there, and I've been able to fill the basket to my liking. I'm happy with it. And again, the main part is the pumpkins that I painted, and they're on display front row center. I mean, they're the first thing you see here. You only see a little bit of the pop of that orange one, and if you're looking really close, you'll see the little gourd down at the bottom, but it's not that important. I like the fact that the pumpkins are so distressed and so pretty. And that is it for the things I was able to do for this particular video. I love everything. It turned out so great. The entire time, my little half-crafted heart was just going pitter-patter. You know, when I'm making some of these things and I'm just able to put them together, you don't have to use glue. It's a different feeling when you're making it for yourself. Let me know if that makes sense to you. Do you know what I mean? When you're making it for yourself, you know that you have a purpose in mind, but you can leave things in a certain way to where you don't have to secure it. Like, I don't take off the tags. Half the time, even if I'm cutting the stem, I'm not doing a lot of the stuff you would have to do if you're making a piece as a gift, or if you're making it to sell, or if you're making it for any other reason. I didn't do those things. And my little pumpkin sign's been out there for years since I made it, but now it looks like it belongs, and it makes me so happy. This is the first time I've decorated in probably 5 or 6 years. And again, sometimes, you know, things just cause you to kind of lose your sparkle, lose your spunk. But I'm 100% back on track with this, and I cannot wait to do my mantle. I have not touched that mantle since I made the video for the mantle, so I'll let you know, because I'm not hiding anything here. It's been years, but look how pretty. And then even then, I didn't plan on using my little DIY out here. I was going to have it in my living room, but I love it. It adds that little pop of black off to the right. I was able to change this. I have had the same stuff in this little candle holder since I got it, easily probably almost 20 years ago. Hi, Cosmo. And then my cute little Hello Pumpkin doormat. Our other little pumpkins we put in our bucket. Love it. And then my little tin can holder that I have here on my clock. When I made this thing a year or two ago, I love it. That's a little resin piece from IOD, Hobby Lobby Baby's Breath. It's just, literally, that's just a smashed can. I love making these things, and it feels good to incorporate them in my own home. Makes me so happy. Love it. tell me your thoughts. What do you see? Do you like these things? Do you see these things? And then, oh, yes, back to my supervisor. So as I was taking some breaks, because I had liver surgery a few years ago. You guys, if you've been with me for some time, you know that. So I have some leg issues that pop up from time to time from that surgery. But I was taking a little break, and the boys come and keep me company. It was getting close to dinner time, so Henry here's front row center. And then here's my little Zoe girl. She's still kicking. She'll be 18 this year in November. So she was coming out asking, what time is dinner? Did you say 4? Is it 4:30? And then there are Cosmo and Henry. They're just my little buddies. They just keep me company 100%. They're about a year and a half old, so they're puppies. So they're basically at my ankles constantly. So I have gotten used to not tripping over them again. Now, that was just a little bit. Now, you will see this. This was the mantle I did so many years ago. I will check to see when I made that video for it, but I did share that video with you guys. We're going to do this mantle next. I'm going to take it all down, dust it, clean it. We're going to reuse some of those flowers in there, but you're going to have, it's going to be a great video. Now, this guy here, I wanted to paint it and have it done for the video, but I didn't get the paint. Now, this was the little fluffy, feathery thing you saw me try to use in that other thing. I'm going to take this greenery out, but I am going to add this guy back into it, and we're going to make it more fall. I don't know if I'm going to do anything with my little galvanized bucket here. I might add some gold into it, but I didn't get the paint for the vase. And then I got the paint for the vase, and it had popped open because Amazon decided to play football or soccer with it on its way to my home. So I have another one coming. Hopefully the second one isn't opened and busted, but we'll see. But I will show you guys that in the next video because I am going to redo that. Now, I have a coffee page, so if you like my videos, you feel you learned something, any kind of donation you can drop, that will be done here. There's a link in the description, and also my DIYs are for sale. So take a peek at that because every little bit helps. If you're not able to, it's always appreciated, never required. You being here is all I need. Just put a little hi, a like, and a smiley in the description below. That helps me as well because it helps YouTube know that you like me and will suggest me to more people. So that's about it, guys. Thank you. Let me know what your thoughts are. This is a little weird one-off video I haven't done before, but please let me know. Do you like these things and should I do more? Because I got at least a mantle planned, obviously another vase, and then I'm going to do a big wreath because you guys have been asking for a big fluffy wreath. I'm going to do a big fluffy wreath. So with all that being said, I love you more than I can possibly say in words. Many hugs, happy crafting, and I'll see you in the next video soon. Bye-bye for now.